we are going to discuss the Buddy program, AFL Buddy Program 2.0 that we launched just last week. This is one of the primary ways that you can also earn your points on for the AFL program. We are going to discuss the various criteria and how when you bring in a nominee or your nominee brings in more nominees, you can earn these points. All right. Let us begin with the program. We are going to explain this entire flow using a scenario. Two scenarios, in fact. So we'll at each level consider yourself as the primary AFL buddy. At each level, please consider that you are this AFL buddy and that you have completed 3 levels of the AFL program. There are 4 levels for you to get the completion certificate, but for this scenario, let us consider you have completed 3 levels and you have brought in 5 direct nominations as part of the buddy program: A, B, C, D, and E. Out of these 5 people, your candidate B or nominee B is very active and they have gone ahead and completed 2 levels of their AFL journey: explorer and enthusiast. So what does this mean for you? It means that you earn 200 points, 100 for each level of your nominee's completion and 2 500 rupee vouchers for each level. So this is what you earn from your direct nominees. Now let's say your nominee, direct nominee B, has gone ahead and brought in 3 more nominees from her end. What happens then? We see that out of those 3 nominees that nominee B had brought in, 2 of them, B1 and B2, they are very active. B1 has earned the Explorer badge. She has completed 1 level. What does this mean for nominee B? It means that she earns 100 points and 1 500 rupee voucher for the 1 level that her nominee has completed. Now, what if nominee B completes 2 more levels, Explorer and Enthusiast? This means B gets 200 more points and 2 more 500 rupee vouchers. This adding the points and the vouchers for nominee B at this point for coming from both her direct nominations, her total points become 300 and 3 vouchers. What does this mean now for the AFL buddy, for the main buddy who had brought in B's nomination? This means she is entitled to 20% of her direct nominations buddy points. She can now get 20% of B's direct buddy points. How do we calculate that? Let's check this. Okay, so we are going to see what is the total number of points and vouchers that AFL buddy, the main buddy, has received. She receives 200 points from her direct nominees' completions, plus she is entitled to 20% of her direct nominees' buddy points. And she gets 2 vouchers because her direct buddy, her direct nominee completed 2 levels. Please remember, you get vouchers only for your direct nominees' level completions. If your nominee completes 4 levels, you get 4 vouchers. If they complete 2, you get 2. So in this scenario, since our direct AFL buddy nominee completed just 2 levels, that's why she's got 2 vouchers here. Okay, let's calculate the points now. So she had 200 points plus 20% of direct nominee B's buddy points, which is 300. So total would be 200 plus 60. This is 260 points. So this is what our AFL buddy gets out of one nominee's points in total. And calculating the vouchers, 2 of 500 rupee vouchers is 1000 rupees. Okay, let's consider one more scenario now. So we all saw that AFL buddies nominee B was very active. Now let's consider that another of AFL Buddy's nominee, D, is active now. What happens then? Looks like D has completed 3 levels of the AFL program, which means, yes, so our AFL Buddy gets 300 points and 3 500 rupee vouchers. All right, let's move a little further. What if D brings in one more nominee? And this nominee becomes active and completes 2 more levels. What does this mean? This means D, who had brought in the nominee, earns 200 points, 100 for each level's completion, and 2 500 rupee vouchers. But then what does this mean for our AFL Buddy? Like we discussed, D1 becomes our AFL Buddy's indirect nominee. So she is entitled to 20% of D, her direct nominee's buddy points. The same calculations follow again. Okay, let's increase the complexity by one more level. So the indirect nominee at D1 level brings in one more nominee. This nominee is also very active and they complete 1 level. So what does this mean? We'll go step by step, back calculation. So now our nominee D1 gets 100 points for the 1 level that was completed and 1 500 rupee voucher for the completion. So the indirect nominee, who is D, now gets 20% of D1's buddy points, right? The same calculation again. So you are always entitled to your direct nominees 20% buddy points. So we have seen this. Now let's see how the entire flow works from our topmost buddy to how it flows down. So right now, D has 200 points from their direct nominees completions because they completed 2 points, plus 20% of their direct nominees buddy points, and 2 vouchers, of course, because they completed 2 levels. So this entitles D to a total of 200 plus 20% of 100, which is 220 points, and a 1,000 rupee voucher. This calculation is for our nominee, direct nominee D. Let us now sum up all of this for our main buddy. Total points. So she now has 300 points plus 20% of her buddy D's buddy points and 3 500 rupee vouchers because her direct nominee had completed 3 levels. Like this is how the calculation would work, and this is how her vouchers are. So we discussed 2 scenarios. One where our AFL Buddy's nominee B was very active and they had a chain of nominees that they brought in. And the other one was where AFL Buddy's direct nominee D was active. They brought in a nomination and so did the next person. Let us see what does this mean for our AFL Buddy. So AFL Buddies, out of 5 direct nominations, only 2 of them were very active, who went ahead and completed levels in the AFL journey, and in turn brought in few more nominations. So what does this mean? Our AFL Buddy will get direct nominees buddy points. They'll also get direct nominees level completions into 500 rupee vouchers. So for example, B and D have completed a total of 5 levels together. B completed 2 and D completed 3. So they are entitled to 500 rupee vouchers and a total of 20% of their direct nominees buddy points. If we have to check the calculation, the cumulative points and vouchers for the AFL Buddy from both the scenarios would be this: 260 plus 1,000 and 344 plus 1,500. So this is the total points that they can earn. This is just about the buddy. So we have a few terms and conditions, and we have been talking about it previously as well. If you are going to be somebody's buddy, make sure that you have completed or you have begun with your AFL journey and are completing the levels that you're mentoring them on, and continue with your progress on AFL. Do not miss that out. We would also ask you to make sure that when you send in nominations, your nominees must be registered on AFL. Their status can be at not started or in progress, but they must be registered on AFL, which means they should have received 3 emails from Avo Academy, 1 for the license activation and 2 from Avo Academy regarding their registration on the learning path. So these are the 3 emails that they should have received. Please ensure they are registered on AFL. And the third one is, how do you inform us about this, that you have a few nominations and you'd like to participate in the Buddy program? Write to us with the subject line AFL Buddy with the details of your nominations. And we will send you a confirmation and you can start tracking and mentoring them. All right. We also wanted to cover the criteria for you all to earn points in AFL. What we discussed so far was just the Buddy program's points. You have other ways that you can earn points, right? Starting from the total completion points. So you as an AFL participant get 100 points for each level's completion. So you can earn a total of 400 points directly just by completing your entire AFL journey and getting the AFL certificate. Next, this is the aggregate. So there are final assessments at the end of each levels, at the end of each course. If you get 100% in all those 4 final assessments, you get 1000 points. If your aggregate score is 85, when I say aggregate, this is the average of all 4 final assessments, all the assessments that you take. You get 850. Similarly, we have defined the levels that you can see here. The third criteria, how you can earn points, is through the Buddy program. And as you can see, it has a lot of weightage. As your buddy completes 1 level, we are not even saying one for the entire nominee. 1 level per nominee, they earn 100. You can earn 100 points as their AFL buddy. So if they are starting with the AFL journey and you mentor them for all 4 levels, you get 400 points directly. So this is how we have defined the levels. It goes so on and so forth. More than 10 levels, if you help them complete, you get 1500. More than 15, you get 2000. And similarly, for more than 20, you get 2500 points. And we are talking about levels of completion.
Yeah.
Not
just to add on to it, you can earn up to maximum of 5000 points from Buddy program, right? From this criteria, direct nomination. So we are covering till 20 here, but if you can bring up to 30 or 35, you'll get 5000 straight. Right. So suppose if you're bringing 5 buddies or 6 buddies and they complete all the levels, 6 into 4, 24, right? You'll fall into 3000. You'll straight away get 3000 points. If you bring in 10 nominees, they complete all 4 levels, you'll get 5000 added to your aggregated score.
That's the benefit of bringing in more nominations, more completions. Sorry. Okay. The fourth point that the criteria that we have for you to earn more points is brownie points. This is an exclusive point that you can earn up to 500. This is reserved with the AFL creators and panelists. These points are based on your activities, your attentiveness throughout the program, your interaction on various platforms. We have our community platform, we have our LinkedIn platform, how well you communicate or anything. We are also checking that. Some of them are very active, so this is us encouraging as well. Your consistency with the AFL program also matters. So if you have begun with it and you're consistently going through the content, helping people, mentor, and everything, there are certain brownie points that you earn up to 500. We have no clear. We are not going to share the points that we are going to give out. This stays with the AFL creators and panelists. Okay, so keeping all these criteria together. So you have the buddy program, you have the different criteria through which you can earn these points. What happens to the AFL buddy? How many points has she earned? Let us see. So let's say by the end of this entire journey, she has completed the AFL program. So she directly gets her 400 points. Then the aggregate score for her all assessments, final assessments, is more than 85%. So she gets 850 points, like we discussed in the previous slide. From buddy program, we had already calculated, she gets a total of 604 points based on her active direct nominees and 20% from her indirect nominees. Brownie points, let's say, hypothetically, she got 60 points. So totally, she gets 1914 points and 2,500 is her voucher. Please remember, this voucher is earned purely on the basis of AFL Buddy's direct nominees completions. So she has 5 direct completions, and that is why she has earned 2,500 rupees voucher. So this is all that we have. Just wanted to remind everybody about our email IDs that we have already shared on various platforms. You can write to us if you have any questions, and you can join our community on WhatsApp. You can put in your questions, and there are others also, other AFL participants also, who help each other. So it's a brilliant platform to be on.